go up on the other. Anyhow, very good there, Eric. KF9Q, KP2 X-ray returning. Hey, that sounds like a nice location. I bet that works out really well.
How well did I stir this pot? Oh, yeah, you did a good job.
Going up into the 60s today, partly cloudy. Nice day in Tucson, and he's on the ICOM 735. He swapped out rigs.
Well, good morning, Mr. Boyd. KG2RF, AL7AX. I'm not hearing Harold as usual. Don't know what's happened. We use several pipelines, but we sure haven't had the last. Go ahead.
This is the well-known Yaesu twins. That is the FR-101 receiver and the FL-101 transmitter. And together they can actually work as either a transceiver or a standalone receiver and a standalone transmitter. I'll show you how that works. Let's start with the receiver. It's actually quite a nice design. It is full solid state, no tubes, and it has many more bands than just the ham bands, as you can see here. This particular one has all ham bands installed, including I think 31 and 60 meters, but we'll lift the hood in a second and show you that. This particular one had a digital display. There is a frequency counter in there for that purpose. There is also a version that does not have that. Let's go quickly over the controls. We got AGC off, fast and slow. We have this selector. This is for internal. This is for external when the transmitter is also working and you want to use the whole thing transceive. This is for internal crystals that can be used. I have 4 crystals installed, which I'll show you later. So that when you switch in this, you basically turn on the crystal bank instead of the VFO. And like I said, you have 4 crystals that can be used. We obviously have power, we have standby switch, noise blanker, we have the ability to switch off to 100 Hz if that is too annoying. And there is a calibrator. I'll show you how that works. Works quite nice actually. And with the calibrator you can set the display for the exact readout. Now you have to always do that because, for instance, when you go to lower sideband, the switch does not correct for the 3 kilohertz difference, so you would then have to set the calibrator yourself, and the same is true when you go back to upper sideband. That's how that works. So that was the calibrator. We have CW narrow, we have CW, RTTY, lower sideband, upper sideband, AM, AM wide, and FM. This particular one has the FM option installed, and I'll show you that in a minute. We have volume, we have RF gain. The nice thing about this RF gain is that the meter actually goes down. In a lot of designs it goes up when you lower RF gain. That's actually not nice. This one doesn't do that. Here we have a clarifier that can be turned off or used. This here is to correct the frequency when you are transceive, and again I'll show you that. That has to do with the fact that the heterodyne crystals in the receiver and the transmitter might have a slight difference, and here you can compensate for that. This is a pre-selector. The radio has a very sharp pre-selector. It gives it a great large signal handling. This is for the installed 6 meter and 2 meter converters. And I'll show you that in a minute. This radio has both the 6 meter converter as well as the 2 meter converter installed, 144 megahertz. So you can also listen to VHF bands. This is attenuator, 10 and 20 dB. This is the squelch when you are in FM. Only works in the FM mode. And we have the monitor, which allows you to listen to yourself when you are transmitting, which is needed to set the frequency corrector. And again, we'll show you that. And this is the band switch. As you see, there is a whole bunch of bands, and we'll open the hood and see what's actually installed. All right. Here we have the inside. Here are the 4 crystals I told you about, if you want to use 4 fixed channels instead of the VFO. This is the board that has the sideband detector on there, plus the sideband crystals. This is the FM board, FM decoder. This is the IF board. And the big filter you see here is the FM filter. This is the crystal calibrator. You can set the crystal calibrator to generate a spectrum of 100 kilohertz spectrum or 25. It's now set for 100. This is the 6 meter converter. That's normally optional, but it's installed in this one. This is the 2 meter converter, and I will demonstrate them to you in a minute. Here you see the slug rack for the RF tuner, the RF preselector. And here you see the actual RF stages. In there you can see the crystals. If you hang on for a second, give a little bit of light there. That doesn't work so well. Well, maybe it does. You can see what is installed. In terms of the crystal, it's basically all the ham bands and 25 meter and 31 meter, I think it is. 60 is actually not included, I see. And here we have the first IF board, I think it is, which is that board here. As you can see, all boards are plug-in. You can remove them to work on them if needed for service, but the receiver is extremely reliable. You won't have any problems with that. This is the counter module that's inside here. This is the input, basically counts the VFO, and here is the band switch data that is being decoded for proper megahertz indicator. Underneath there is the VFO. I think the VFO covers from what is it? I think it's 8.8 to 9.3, if I'm not mistaken. 500 kilohertz span. So every time when you want to go to a new 500 kilohertz span, you need to select a different heterodyne crystal, and that's the reason why you have those crystals there. As you see, this particular one is almost like new. This is in mint condition. You don't often see them in this state. And like I said, it has a lot of options installed. Basically the FM board and the FM filter and the 2 VHF boards, the down converters, and it also has the optional 10 C and 10D crystals. That was not standard. You had to buy those, I think. And as you see, it looks pretty nice from the inside. Alright, let's show you the function of the VHF converter. We'll show you the 2-meter converter. If we look at this list here, in order to receive 2 meters between 146 and 147, we have to go to band 10B and the high section of the converter. We are at the high section and we are at 10B. And we will open a repeater, a local repeater here that is on 146.865. So you have to think 146 in front of that according to this table. Let's see if it works.
Welcome all amateurs to the K8ONV repeater.
That works quite well. So that's 2 meters. And I will now show you the function of the 6-meter converter. The problem is I don't have an antenna for that, and I don't think there's any repeaters in the neighborhood here. But we will test that with my other Yaesu ham radio that actually has the 6-meter band. We'll test the 6-meter function at 52.750. So according to the table, that's between 52.5 and 53. That means the high end of the 6-meter band for the converter and band 10B for the radio. So we are still on 10B, and here you are on, we are on the high band for the VHF converter, the 6-meter converter. And we are already tuned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Frequency modulation on 6-meter. Squelch works quite nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3 testing. That works quite good. As you can see, that is done, as we said earlier, by means of this crystal filter and the FM demodulator board, which was an option for this radio, but it was installed in this particular receiver. Let's now have a look at the transmitter. ALC is obviously the ALC for the transmitter. PA, we have the PA current, we have the PA power that we can select. This is a switch. This is standalone transmitter. This is operation with the VFO from the receiver, and this is transceive mode. Power, PTT, Vox. The radio does have a Vox gain and anti-trip is installed. Max, that's just a transmit, and this is the spot button to make sure you're properly tuned for CW. There is an RF processor button, that's an option. I don't have that installed in this one, but you don't need it. Modulation sounds very good for this radio. Mode switch, CW, FSK, lower side with upper side, tune and AM. We have microphone gain and we have carrier that is used for AM to set the right carrier level. Remember, carrier is always 1/4 of peak power. So don't take this over. This is a 100-watt radio, so don't take it over 25, or you destroy the tubes. This is obviously the VFO. This radio has an analog readout. You don't really need a digital one here because it can use the digital one that's already in the receiver. I'll show you that in a minute. Here we have the band switch. We have delay and level for I don't know for what, probably a keyer. This is we already discussed that. This is the PA loading, PA plate, and this is the driver. Let's have a look at the inside. Here we have the single sideband generator, the modulator, and the AF section. This is the first IF, second IF, This is the power supply regulator board. This is the PA. It's 2 parallel tubes in there. Here's the RF section. As you see, there is also a driver tube. There you can see the crystals. This is where the VFO basically is underneath. This is where the processor board would go. This is the transformer and the filter capacitors. Pretty straightforward. So it's basically a hybrid. We have a transistor exciter and a tube hollow state amplifier. It gives off about 100 to 150 watts on the lower bands. On 10 meters it's about 100 watts. Put brand new tubes in this one. The old ones were a little bit weak. You gotta neutralize that when you do that. You gotta know how to do that, but it's explained well in the manual. It's actually pretty simple once you know how to do it. So when you replace tubes in this transceiver, you need to, in this transmitter, you need to re-neutralize the PA to prevent instabilities. Let's see what I can do. Alright, we're testing it at 20 meters. We're set at 14.2 megahertz. We'll have a monitor receiver here to see how it sounds. We'll have the watt meter to see what kind of power we got. Already tuned it up. 20 meter setting here. This is peaked for maximum output power. And this is basically what you use. You put it in tune mode and you transmit. As you see, we get about 100 or 110 watts, 20 meters, and we can see how the modulation sounds. Upper sideband, and we have to set the mic gain for the proper gain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the plate current, and here we see the output power, and here we see the ALC. Once it's out of the green area, you have to back off the microphone a little bit. So we're exactly at the right point here. As you can see, I've set it at the internal VFO, so it's running as a standalone transmitter right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Modulation sounds very good, very good. Not bad for a 40-year-old radio. Let's see how it's working when we set it transceive with the receiver. That is also possible. And for that we have to set the receiver at external. And we have to set the transmitter at TRX. I need to set this back to the 20 meter band. Once we have that set, I'll show you how that works. I'll show you how the two radios connect to each other. These are the relay prongs for the transmitter. Here's the receiver. This is the auxiliary connector. It's only used in this configuration for muting the receiver. So that cable goes here. This is the VFO connector that connects the two VFOs with each other and allows you to exchange the VFOs. This is the receiver antenna. So the transmitter relay, the antenna relay is basically in a transmitter. The antenna, the main antenna, is hooked up here, and then the receive signal goes into the receiver antenna right here. Pretty straightforward, actually. Looks more complex than it is. This has to do with the anti-trip and the tone for the Vox. You know, if you would never use that, you probably wouldn't have to hook it up, but it is explained like that in the manual. So that's basically the way we've hooked it up. This is the AC, permanently connected for the transmitter. For the receiver, it's connected through a Jones connector, Don't know why that was done. Has no ground, so you need to ground the cases separately if you want to stay on the safe side. As you can see, this transmitter has the blower. That might have been an option, not 100% sure. There is more connectors here. It's all explained in the manual. FSK, auxiliary, phone patch. You can do a external phone patch. There is a key connector here for a CW key. And here on the receiver we have the 2 meter antenna hookup. This is the 6 meter antenna hookup. We got a ground, an auxiliary connector. This is where the speaker goes. There is no speaker built in. I'm just using a simple computer speaker that hooks up to here. This is, like I said, the anti-trip, VFO, AC, and the fuse. And that's actually all there is to it. So all the cables are included with this one. So hookup is simple. And I'll explain in the manual. Oh, I forgot this one here. It says PO adjust, but all this does is, I showed you earlier that it has a power indicator on the meter. All this does is set the meter for 100% at 100 watts. So it's just a relative indicator that you can set here. And that's the relay pro. Alright, we'll test at 14.205. Everything is set here. As you can see, we have this at the external position, so this VFO now drives the transmitter. We are at TRX. That will allow us to use the whole thing transceive. Upper sideband 20 meters. Everything is tuned. This is the Yaesu. So as you can see, the receiver works fine. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to try the transmitter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the transmitter. That works too. That is the transmitter. Now, as you can see, the radio has a monitor function, and you need that to make sure that the transceive function works properly. So you basically can monitor yourself. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And with this, with that you can maintain the proper transceive setting. This, like I said earlier, this corrects for the slight difference you might have in the heterodyne crystals between the receiver and the transmitter. So this shifts the heterodyne crystal a little bit to the point where it exactly corresponds to the frequency of the transmitter heterodyne crystal. You only have to set that once for this band. Once it's set, you can go wherever you want and it will always be transceive. When you change bands, which means you also change heterodyne crystal, you have to tune this again. But like I said, it's real simple. You just set everything and then you just tune here until you sound transceive in your talkback function. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all there is to it. And you can use this unit perfectly transceive. In order to show to you that it's really the receiver VFO that is doing the job here, I will crank this up a little bit. So we're still at 14.205 here. And then I will turn the VFO while I'm transmitting. A little bit more volume. As you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you see, it's really the receiver VFO is now driving the receiver VFO is now driving the transmitter to ensure that everything stays exactly transceive. And that's all there is to it. You know, can go to other bands, do the same thing. It looks more complicated than it is. Once you got the hang of it, you just make sure the settings here are all correct. Settings here are all correct. The transmitter is tuned. And then you make sure that this is in the TRX position. That's in the external position. And then after tuning, you make sure that the heterodyne crystals are matched and that you're fully transceive. And in this way you can use this Yaesu twin set, perfectly transceive, and work any station you want. Like I said, unit really works nice. It looks like new. This particular one has not been used much, I think. At least not used in the sense that it's all busted up. And it is loaded with features. And I put brand new tubes in there to make sure that we get good output power. Show you the output power other bands to make sure that we really get the power we want, and that the tubes are doing what they need to do. Alright, we're now at 28.7 for the receiver. That is 10B. We got the pre-selector set. We are an upper sideband. Transmitter is all set. We got the drive at 10. We got these already adjusted. We're at 10B, as you can see. And upper sideband, we're at transceive mode. TRX here and external there. And let's see what we get. I forgot to say we have this one set. Remember, that was the transceive corrector. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 28.7. Let's see what kind of power level we get. We have about 125 watts a 10 meter. To show you that the tubes are indeed fresh and have good emission. Let's try the 80 meter band. See what we got there. Alright, we're at 3.85, 80 meter band, lower side band. We got everything tuned here. And here is the 80 meter band switch. We're at, again, at transceive, lower side band, 80 meters, 850 as you can see here as well, although this one is controlled by the receiver at the moment. We are at the plate and loading settings correct. This is the drive. And let's see what we get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 testing. Modulation sounds good also on lower sideband. Let's see what we get in terms of power. About 125, 130 watts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have the transceive button set properly. That is this one, remember. Let's see what happens. As you can see, I had to add a little bit more correction here. And this assures that the whole thing is transceive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3 testing. And that sounds excellent. And that's the Yaesu receiver FR-101 and the corresponding transmitter FL-101. Used to call them the Yaesu twins. And as you see, after all these years, this set works perfect. And a great addition to any collection. Thank you for watching this video.
Me agrada usted copiando y tirando y jalando a la gente que yo sé que se agradan y
WNRL2, I just found some old pictures in my archives here of Larry at the Livonia radio club with his amateur TV, and even found one of Larry, probably big, I'm guessing early.
Who's that? X-ray Echo 2 Germany, Kilo 2, Quebec, November, uniform, 73.
73. Australia to Germany, Kilo 6. That was 30.
And 2,000 on camera.
Mexico, Foxtrot,
Kilo 5, Romeo Echo X-ray.
Name again is Chad, Charlie Hotel Alpha Delta 59. Beautiful signal, beautiful audio, over.
Big one coming through, 59. Kilo
Whiskey 5, Mike, Florida. Mike, Florida. Whiskey 5, Mike, Florida. 9, Echo, Echo. Whiskey 5, Miami, Florida. Whiskey 5, Miami,
Kilo
Florida.
5, Romeo Echo X-ray.
Delta 9, Delta Golf.